Hi friends, in this session we will learn the loops. Loops help us to run certain part of code in a program multiple times or the desired number of times. It's like how many times I want to run the code. I would use a loop and then I write the code inside it and will run the code. So what are the basic features, or I would say advantages of the loops? The first is the reusability of the code. Second, helps in reducing code size. Third, easy flow of the control. And the fourth is it helps in reducing complexity. So these are all the main features which loop has, due to which we use the loop in our code. So how loop works, for that we'll move to this picture which helps us to understand that how a loop works. So when we write a loop, the first it will check that is loop condition satisfied. If it is satisfied, then it will go to the execution block. Otherwise it will come out of the loop and will not execute further. But we need to check then when we want to get out of the loop. It's a very important thing. If you do not write when you need to come out of loop, it will execute infinite number of times. We'll learn this in the further section when we'll write the code. But first you need to understand that how the loop will work. It will counter the variable increment or decrement. Then if the loop condition satisfied or not. If it is satisfied, then it will go to the execution block. Again, from the execution block it will go to the loop counter. If it is not satisfied, it will come out of the loop and will not move further and go to the further step in the code. So the different type of loops are basic loop, while loop, for loop, and the nested loop. So in this section we'll cover the basic loop. The statements that exit a loop, which are the exit and exit when. So these are the two things which we use to get out of the loop. And there are other statements also, continue and continue when, which are used in the loops to write down. We'll study all these things in the further section. How we write a loop. For writing a loop, we have the loop, then the execution block. So whole code which we want to execute, we write in this execution block, and then end loop. So these are the basic. This is how we write a basic loop. And but to study in detail, we will write a code. I'll open a new worksheet for this. So first we declare, then I'm declaring a variable here as vnum. This is the first variable and I'm assigning a value to it as vnum number. Then begin section. Then before the block, I want to write a dbms underscore output to check what is the value of the code. So dbms output dot put line, and so I would write here as start. So this is from where the loop will start, and we'll get to know what is from where start. Then loop. So here we write this loop identifier to start the loop. Then first inside the loop, let's check what is the value of the variable vnum. So we will write variable is concat with the vnum. Then we'll increment this variable with the vnum assigning is as vnum plus 1. Then we'll write here at exit. We have discussed to get out of the loop, so exit identifier is written here when vnum is greater than 7. Then for ending loop we'll write here as end loop. Then again last we'll write here as stop. So now you'll check that how many times the loop will iterate, how many times it iterates through the code to give you the result. So this is the whole loop block which will execute. For first we'll set the server output on. So set server output on. So executing, it's giving you some error. Let's check at line number 9. So declare vnum. We'll declare it as a 0 as initializing variable, but it's still giving you some error. What is the error? Let's check and resolve. So it is saying you that the symbol n declare begin, then vnum. I think we are missing with the some column which it is saying to add, but where that line number 9. So now the code is executed, and now you can see how many times the loop is executed. First it start, then it goes into the loop. The variable is 0 here as we have declared initialize it as 0. Then vnum plus 1. Now the vnum gets to 1 and it check if vnum is greater than 7. No, it is less than 7. Then again it will go to this loop, and now the variable is 1. So now it is 1. So how many times you can see the loop is iterated here? It 8 times the loop is iterated. If you want it to iterate it to 7 times, you need to change here as and declare it as a 1. So it will iterate only 7 times. Let's check this. Yes, you can see here that now it is iterated in 7 times. But the thing is, it's very important to write exit statement. If I'll comment it here and then I'll execute, then you will see that it will give you error, and it is starting iterating n number of times. Now you can see the variable, it goes to 59476, and in above it will show you some error that it is infinite number of times and it cannot get out of the loop. So you can see here that buffer overflow error you get, which shows you that limit exceeded and the buffer is overflowed, and it cannot show you the whole results. So the exit statement is very important here to be noted down. For writing the loop, we have 3 identifiers which we need to learn. One is loop to initialize the loop, then one is exit when to exit come out of the loop or to exit the loop, and the last one is end loop to end the loop. So this is all the things which you need to write when you write a loop. Exit and exit when, continue and continue when can appear inside the loop, but it cannot be go outside the loop. So the exit loop should be only inside the loop. It cannot get out of the loop. We have the go to statement also to iterate the loop. Oracle recommends using these statements instead of go to statement. Oracle recommend us that we use exit when or continue instead of go to statement. We'll use the go to also and learn how it works, but the important is to use exit and exit when. So these are all the things which we need to remember in the loop. We can label a loop as well to make it a more readable. So this is how a loop works and this is how it returns the code. We can use here the different assignment operators also. I can write it over here. When vnum is greater than or equal to 7. So now if you see, the result is reduced and it is till only 6. For 7 it gets out of the loop and has not iterated that. So by using different conditional operators here, all the conditional operators can be used here in the exit when statement. By using the different operational operators in this exit statement according to your code, you can write a loop to according to the coding which you want to do. So this is all about the loops. In the further sections we'll learn the for loop, while loop and the nested loop. Thanks.